Hello. This is Brandon, Lena, and Will from Tribunal of the Grid. Now, we are about to go ahead and give you another episode. But before we do that, we are just coming here to let you know that the giveaway is still going. So please listen to the episode so that you can go ahead and comment on our IG page, whatever question that we ask, so that you can also enter into the sweepstakes. It is open to everyone. So please participate, tell a friend, tell your mama, your daddy, whoever you got to tell. But it is open to everybody. So please subscribe, listen, and participate.
And
so that we can send you a little gift.
Yep, and turn on your notification bells. So you'll be notified every time we upload an episode. Because you want to know when we're uploading an episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to know what we're going to give you.
Hello. That is the whole point.
And there will be 3 of them. So 3 chances to win.
Exactly. So please do that and let's start the show. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And today we have a packed episode for you guys. Oh my gosh. So we don't have any Ranger things today, but we do have quite a bit of news. Like we have a good bit of news that we've been, just kind of holding off, because we were just like, we know some stuff is going to happen. So we just don't want to just keep giving just little nuggets and here and there. But we're just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and just wait till all the news happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure there's more that's going to happen, obviously. But, we just wanted to go ahead and just kind of let it pile up a little bit before we just like dish it off our plate. You know what I'm saying? And then we're also going to be talking about 2 Halloween, well, quote unquote Halloween episodes of Power Rangers, because hey, it's Halloween, and of course we have to do a Halloween special because that's what we do, right? So we're going to be discussing Life's a Masquerade, MMPR season 1, and also we're also going to be discussing Trick or Treat, which is also MMPR season 1. So stay tuned for that. But before we begin, I just want to take the time out to basically kind of like just let y'all know how much we care about our listeners, how much we adore y'all. You know what I'm saying? Okay, because y'all listen to us. Y'all actually take the time out to listen. Y'all leave comments. Y'all be doing all the things.
They like us.
Okay.
They like us. What is this?
Right. It's like, oh my God, like y'all are actually you're actually listening to us. Oh my God, this is amazing. So because we appreciate you, we have decided that we are going to do a giveaway, a 3-prize giveaway, actually. So you have the ability to win 3 prizes from us. Just because we appreciate you. Just because we appreciate you guys, you have the ability to win 3 prizes. Now, it is open to everybody. So that means no matter where you are, whether you could be in the United States, Canada, overseas somewhere, doesn't matter.
But
doesn't matter.
Pause. We do want to specify it's not that one person is winning 3 prizes. It's 3 different winners for 3 prizes.
Like Lena said, it's 3 different winners for 3 different prizes, but you have the ability to win 3 times. So it's not just, I won't be able to win or whatever. No, you have 3 chances. So, if you don't win the first time, you got another chance. If you don't win that second time, you got one more chance. So it's totally okay. Now, we're not going to tell you what the prizes are because, why? Why would we? But they are good prizes. They are definitely wonderful prizes.
Really good prizes. Promise you.
So, okay, like they're wonderful prizes. So, of course, don't worry. We aren't going to just, we aren't going to sell y'all short. We're not. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to give y'all a pound of coal in a box. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that to you guys.
But because we're trolls.
I mean, we can.
But
right. If we were trolling you, we totally would. But we're not going to do that. But like I said, the prizes will be really cool. And I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy them. So definitely how this goes. Like, let me go ahead and explain to you how this goes, how this runs, right? So we're just going to be asking random questions about our episodes. And, you just let us know. You let us know what the answer is. Let us know what we talked about or whatever we ask in the following episode, Just give us the answer. Boom. You automatically qualify to win whatever prize that we're offering. Now, that will require you to listen to the episode. So all you have to do is just do that one little thing. Automatically you're in. So it's very simple. It's very simple. And also too, tell your friends, tell whoever you think may listen to the show, whatever, just tell people, because we want to get as many people involved as possible, because that's what makes it fun, right? So remember, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell your cousins, tell your uncles, tell your aunties, whoever you got to tell. But, just bring them all on. Also, like I said, listen to the episodes, answer the questions, and it automatically enters you to win our giveaway, okay? All right. So that's down. Now, going into the news, because we got some news for y'all, okay? We do got some news for y'all. We got more Lightning Collection figures, Wave 8. Now, Wave 7 is already out. You know what I'm saying? Wave 7 is already out in the wilderness. It's already out in the plains and in all the places. You know what I'm saying? So you can go ahead and pick up Wave 7 right now. However, Wave 8 is out. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and read to y'all what they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go ahead and read to y'all what they are. You tell me what you think about it. Okay. Now, we have Lost Galaxy Red, Leo, again. We have SPD Pink, Sydney. We have Dino Thunder Blue, Ethan. And we have Zeo Ranger 4 Green, Adam. Now, here's the funny part, right? Now, the allotment per case, you get 3 Dino Thunder Blues, 2 Lost Galaxy Reds, 2 SPD Pinks, 1 Zeo Green. Thoughts?
That's interesting, because I would think that Adam would be the most popular option.
Right.
So why would you make more of seasons that might not be as known? Like I think obviously the Lightning Collection is for older fans.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Adam is like a legend. So like you would think that one of the most popular ones would be one of the most shipped. So that's
right.
That's an interesting decision.
maybe it's the people that don't know about the CEO and about Adam. Because remember, a lot of people still think that Mighty Morphin ends at season 1.
And a lot of people saw the movie and saw an Asian Black Ranger.
They were probably confuzzle. They're like,
And also too, something to keep in mind. You also have to consider those same people have not seen those seasons that I also mentioned as well. So if you're gonna mention that, you also have to realize they haven't seen this too. So they haven't seen Lost Galaxy, SPD, or Dino Thunder. So it's kind of like, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But I'm more so on the line of what Will was saying, which is like, you talking about somebody who at least been in MMPR season 2.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, most people did drop off around season 2, season 3, but at least they still know who Adam is. So if the name Adam pops up, even if they hadn't seen Zeo or only seen a little bit of it, they still remember who Adam is.
Right.
But you got Leo, Sid, Ethan. It's like, what? And then you got more of them than Adam, who is like the most legendary one. Now, I will say, I don't mind all the brother love. You know, you got all these, all these Ethans, which I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Right.
You know, I'm okay with that. You know, all the brother love. I love it. I love it. They better make sure that fro is rounded for the gods, honey. However, you know, the thing that bothers me, and I'm not gonna lie, the thing that bothers me is why Lost Galaxy Red? We already had him.
Well, hello, if you want to be honest, don't you remember shirtless Leo? Very popular.
But he's gonna be in suit.
I'm totally kidding. But
they're doing what they did with oh my god, there was another one. The Green Ranger and
all the time.
The Gold Ranger.
Yeah. I mean, they re-released the White Ranger
and the original Red Ranger.
Right.
So like this isn't the first time that they've done this. Oh god, and the Psycho Rangers. This isn't the first time that they've done this, but at the same time, I don't like that they do this. It's annoying because it's like we have no idea if they're going to, like, when they give us a 5-pack or 2-pack, we buy it then and there, not knowing if they're going to give us a solo version of it. So it's like, or I guess in turn, like we could get a situation where they maybe they'll sell a solo one and then we'll give you a multi-pack. Like that's something that they could do later on as well. So I mean
that's literally what they did with the Psychos. That's literally what they did. Like they sold us a solo, what was it, a solo blue or something like that? Or it was a solo. Yeah, it was a solo somebody, and then all of a sudden we got like a whole pack.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, why? What is happening right now? Yeah. So my whole thing is, and I understand that they do this, and I get it, but Leo is not the one that I would do. If that was the case, I wouldn't be re-releasing Leo. Nothing against Leo. I mean, he's legendary and all, but not like legendary to the point where it's like, oh yeah, put 2 of him in a pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, no. He would be the one that would be like, all right, you get 1. Switch that with Adam. You know what I'm saying? Adam should be getting at least 2 to a pack, or hell, 3. I mean, Adam to me is like that legendary. Like, dude has been on the show multiple times. Like, he's the second person to reprise his role as much as Tommy Oliver has. Like, he is second to that. So it's like everybody knows who Adam is. You know what I'm saying? And you're only going to put only 1 toy of Adam? Like, that doesn't gel with me. That doesn't make sense. But
I am surprised that we are getting a Pink Ranger though. And of course a Dino Thunder one and a Zeo. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I drift off there. But yeah, no, I am excited for the everyone except for Leo though. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited for Sid and Kevin, not Kevin, Ethan.
Like I'm excited. I'm like the same. I'm more so excited for the others and not Leo, because it's like, all right, we already had him, so what's the purpose? So it's like, you know,
he's been a little overdone, and he hasn't really done anything. Like, his character has not come back at all. So,
well, he came back once.
Yeah,
twice. No, 3 times.
Forever Red.
He came back 3 times.
When?
Yeah, that's right. He came back 3 times for the team up on Lightspeed Rescue. Then he came back for Forever Red, and then he came back for the Legendary Battle. That's right. He came back 3 times. Ooh, I sound very dry about that. Oh my God, that was not nice. But he did come back 3 times. You're right.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. Wow.
He did.
You know what? It's not our fault. When they brought him back, they didn't really give him a memorable moment. They all to like Tommy or like you know, like someone. Well, yeah, mostly Tommy actually, because Tommy's been back for all of those. So I just feel like
Mhm.
because they haven't really highlighted him, that he gets overlooked. And it's sad that even like us also forgot for a moment that he came back that many times, right? So that goes to show that, you know, like his character does get overlooked very often when Tommy's in the picture, which is very unfair. But even then, like he doesn't need to come back. He does not need to be made to character that many times. It's a lot of times. Not
I
Yeah, I agree.
who would you have done instead of Leo? Would it have been another Lost Galaxy character, or would it have been somebody else?
Somebody else.
definitely somebody else. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
I agree with that.
Somebody else.
That's somebody
I
else.
think I think I would have kept it Lost Galaxy. I would have. Do you think Kendrix is going to be like a big deal when she gets her figure?
I would hope so.
I would hope
I
so.
would hope so. Yeah.
Because like it would have made more sense if you're going to do a Galaxy Ranger with a Psycho Ranger if it would have been Kendrix and Psycho Pink
I agree. I
instead
agree
of Leo and
100%.
Psycho Red. That didn't really make any
Yes.
sense
It doesn't make
at
sense because
all.
like
At
that would
all,
have
actually.
yeah, because that would have made that actually is a staple in Ranger history that
Mhm.
that caused so much like oh my gosh, like that is imprinted in
Yeah.
a lot of our minds. Like
Oh,
when we think of
Yeah.
Lost Galaxy, we think of Kendricks versus Psycho Pink. Like
yep.
that is
Yeah.
a historical moment. So it's like you would put Leo and Psycho Red, like that doesn't make sense. You know
No.
what I'm saying?
When that came about, I really questioned it. I remember we had a conversation on that. We were questioning why that was, and I totally forgot that they were even in an episode together.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like you got this and you have this. This is better, but you choose this instead. Like I mean, I understand it's a boy. It's a it's a boy brand, and obviously they think that girls don't sell well. Think about it. Like everybody knows about Kendrick sacrificing herself and
Yep.
killing and to kill Psycho Pink and to destroy the Savage Sword. Savage Sword. We all know about that. We all remember that. You know what I'm saying? So for that to be a 2-pack, like that would have killed, like that would have like destroyed toy sales
I
for sure.
But I wonder though, how are they deciding like which figures they're gonna make over another?
That's
Like
a good point. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could easily be a situation where they just like reds are more popular,
Mm.
and they just decided,
like Leo, it could have been any other red. Like how many bloody red ranges do we have? And I don't mean that in a rude way. Like we just have a lot, and there we could have chose from a lot. Then the other thing is too, I'm very curious about because these toys are targeted to us. So like how do they is there like a test group that like they're like let's go see which character would they prefer, based on whatever, like I genuinely wonder how they pick this because it's not for the little kids that they're selling these to. They're selling to grown ass us as adults with adult money where we're spending all of it on these figures. And 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 so far they haven't really made one that was worth other than like Trini and like some of the other ones, but remaking Leo, it's not worth investing our money in because we already had. And if anyone bought them previously at this point, they probably would have like what? We're a third Leo now, the fourth Leo. I don't even know.
I don't understand why they like this is making me think about Trini. Like I don't understand why they sold so little of her
Right,
when she's so popular.
right, and that's the
And
right.
yeah, and then like you can't find her.
no, you can't. I just looked her up. If you wanted to buy her right now, 152 Canadian dollars.
That's crazy. People are probably bought a
Yeah,
couple of them and are upcharging them.
and I'm like, dude, 150.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. That's way over $30 because most of them are like roughly 30.
Way over.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's what it is in like Canadian pricing. I just looked up on Amazon, and a
Mhm.
lot of them were like anywhere between $30 to $35. I think
Mhm.
the White Donald Thunder was actually the most expensive one. He was $50. I was like, yo,
Wow.
What are you
Wow.
offering?
And they probably were selling with the new helmet and
Yeah.
not the replaced one.
Right. I haven't even looked in. Yeah, they are probably with a new helmet. But yeah, like so
So wait, real quick. So they actually started selling it with the new helmet. It wasn't just people telling them, "Hey, I don't have a painted helmet. Can you send me another one?"
no, they just sent them
No, that's what it is. From my understanding, that's what it is. Like anybody, if you bought the Dino Thunder White Ranger, then I'm not sure if they started actually putting the new heads in the toys. But I know that when they were selling them, when they were buying them originally, they were just like, okay, if you bought this, then just let us know and we'll go ahead and
Replace.
we'll go ahead and ship you out a new helmet. But I do believe that they probably are selling the ones now. I don't know though. I don't know.
I would hope that,
I would-
since they know about the issue, that they would now just when they ship them out correctly.
yeah. I mean, I would assume so because that's a lot of money they're wasting by having people reach in and be like, "Yo, here's a photo of with my original figure. Like, send me the new head," you know. And I think one guy, I remember, I'm sure you guys might have seen it online. One guy actually got 3 heads. That's not fair,
Oh gosh.
but yeah. He
Yeah,
received.
you
I feel
know
like
they probably just like sold them off.
yeah, because I feel like doing something like that is going to take away from the people that need it. Other
Yeah,
people
no,
that need
like he
it.
got it by mistake though, from what I understood. Obviously, what he did with it afterwards, I have no idea. But I know posted a
Oh.
photo and was like, I only needed one, but okay, 3 it is. As a joke.
Oh.
Like, so it looked like he got it by mistake, like, you know what I mean? Like all 3 of them. It did seem like the guy was intentionally trying to be like, devious and was like, yeah, I got 3. Look at me, you know. From what I understood, he just
Mhm.
got it by mistake. He had requested for 1 and received 3. So I was like, oh well,
Mhm.
I guess you can, send to whoever needs it, you know. But so I'm very excited for the new launch. I'm just not excited for Leo, but everyone else, I legit think I might actually be buying this. So I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm definitely getting Adam.
oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm for certain getting the Zeo because I mean I'm not gonna lie to you. Now when I say it has been confirmed, I will say this. Going by No Pink, I know for sure. If No Pink posts something, it's nine times out of 10 is true. That's one. One of the other leaks that's come out as of lately. One of them are branded Tenga.
Ah!
I think that's Zeo Ranger 2 Yellow. I think it is. I'm
Oh my
praying it is.
god. Yes.
Because if it is, I will get it.
Me too,
I will pre-order
obviously.
it in a heartbeat. I might even pre-order 2 if I can. Shoot, one to take out and one to leave in the box. So,
And then
baby.
yeah, we're gonna it looks like we'll have everybody except for Cat. Was Zeo Ranger Cat.
Right.
If this is accurate about the tiny figure.
Right. So we shall see. I mean, hey, I
Wow,
mean,
this
she does have a Zeo crystal, so maybe they might come with Zeo crystals in their boxes.
right. And this is really cool because this will be well right now this will be the closest to a complete Ranger team other than the original team, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I wonder if they did that on purpose.
They
It could be purely coincidence.
I mean they might have done it on purpose. I don't know.
Because
They
we
might
don't like
have.
we don't have any turbos yet. So
Right. We don't have any turbos. And honestly, like because the Turbo Rangers are like literally successors of, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like more than likely when they do, because they are, when they do decide they're going to release Turbo, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be it's going to be TJ, Cassie, Carlos, and Ashley.
yeah,
Nine
that's
times
what
out of
I
10.
what I think too. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
think we spoke about this before, but oh man, the idea of Turbo TJ having his Lightning Cruiser and him Oh my god, like that. Oh,
That
I
needs
think
to
that
happen.
would sell. I think that would sell because that just looks so cool.
That needs to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. We listen, Hasbro, we need it. We need all the things. Now, I'm not a fan of Justin, but and I mean, it's gonna be really hard to have this big, tall body with this little kid head.
Right.
But hey, if you give us that and lightning and Storm Blaster,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I might, you know what I'm saying? I might chuck
Oh,
it up and buy.
Yeah, I
I
wonder
just
what they
might.
would do with that. I wonder if they would give him like two bodies. You know?
Listen.
changing the head to changing the body. Oh,
Yeah, a little body
A
to
little
have him
body.
as civilian, and then an adult body for when he's morphed.
no. Not here. Don't do it. Actually, listen, don't do it.
That's a lot of plastic. That's a lot of plastic.
That's what she said.
That toy.
What the?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god. But you know that toy. But you know that toy would cost a grip though. It would cost so much.
Also what she says.
Oh my god. Moving on. But okay, so next on the list, now we got our girl, Miss Hunter. Miss Hunter had came out. She showed us a little cute little picture of her with the new beautiful blonde locks. She had her hair all ombre and everything. Had the roots still dark, but she still had a cute little highlight going on with the ends all teased and blonde and looking all cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shoot, look at this. Because I mean, honestly, if you really look at all of the actresses who were colored blonde, who weren't original brunettes, not brunettes, original blondes who were brunettes. Whenever they would color their hair, they would just make it like a dull blonde.
Yeah.
Or they might try to add a little something. Yeah, like they might try to add a little something to it, or try to do a little something. But this time they really went all out for her. Like, if you look at her hair, it was like really colored and really colored nicely. Like, I mean, they were like, oh, we gonna really try to slay your hair this time. And apparently now she's back to brunette. So apparently, she's not a blonde anymore.
I am not here for this. I was totally for the fact that she was blonde. I don't know why. Brandon, what do you think happened? I don't understand. Explain.
So here's the tea. Here's what I think. Here's what I think personally what happened. Now, of course, I don't have any insight. I don't have any kind of, like insider scoop or anything like that. But I personally think that too many people got upset when they found out that, another Pink Ranger is going to be blonde again. And when that happened, because basically Twitter went into a complete, death storm of just oh my gosh, why is she blonde? Oh my God, another blonde Pink Ranger. And it's like, but who cares? This is something that we all that we know. We know this happens. So it's like, I don't understand what the problem is.
But the thing is, how is it another? It's not like every single Pink Ranger ever in history was blonde.
Yeah, we have more blonde Yellow Rangers than that.
Exactly. Yeah. We really do. We actually have more blonde Yellow Rangers than blonde Pinks. And it's like, y'all are really losing your minds over this girl getting her hair blonde. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Now, this may not be true. It may not be it may not be true. But I just find it very weird how 1 minute her hair is blonde and then the next minute now it's back to brunette. I find that very weird. Especially, Yeah, exactly. Like it literally happened almost overnight. Like literally she got her hair colored, posted a picture of it. And I know like we shared it, No Pink shared it, like everybody shared it. And some people, for the most part, like on our page, like pretty much people liked it. I mean, you kind of had some creepy comments or whatever, but for the most part, like
we'll have one of
you
those
know,
creepy comments, you know? Like,
yeah, like I mean, yeah.
It's almost like
But
they're waiting for the right moment. But anyways.
yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But then you got apparently with with No Pink, they were saying that it was shared multiple times, and so many people had such controversy with her hair, and it's like y'all are really bugging and are really upset over hair, like hair though. Like I mean, there's so many things to be upset about with this show, but hair is not one. Like.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Like hair is not one of them.
Hair is seriously not one of them. It seriously isn't. And the thing is, she's not even like all blonde. She's like ombre balayage blonde. Like, relax yourselves.
Seriously, it's not like they made her go from brunette to all of a sudden looking like Zoe from Beast Morphers. That's not what happened.
Nope.
Like that's not what they did for her.
Real quick question. I don't know much about hair or the coloring of hair, but I know sometimes it can get damaged when you bleach it.
Oh, very damaged.
Could that have been something?
No,
Since she's a natural brunette, but it takes time to take it out though, right?
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay, it's a longer process to go light. And once you go back to dark, you can't go back to light for a really, really, really long time. For them to do that for her, that must have taken minimum at least a day's process because they did the whole ombre balayage style. I don't know which one it is because we can't see her whole entire head. But from what we saw, it does kind of like what Brennan explained. It does look like an ombre, but it also kind of looks like a balayage as well too. And those are exactly dark roots to blonde or too light. That girl went through all that shit for, if this is true, for all these haters to hate on it. So then whoever made that decision decided to dye her back to brown. To go back is not hard, but that poor girl's hair is extremely damaged now. Extremely.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks. And I mean, like I would have wished that we could have had, just honestly, like her hair the way it was would have been so cute. If we would have actually had that. But what can we do?
So chic, like is exactly like the style that will fit to today's to the day and age, because this has become such a popular technique, such a popular style to do, mostly because you don't have to actually touch up your hair for a really long time. You can go anywhere between 3 to 6 months without having to touch up your hair, and it'll still look fantastic. So it would have been less damaging for her had she just stayed that.
It sucks. And I mean, so many people were really like coming for her, and it was just like, oh my God, like I another Pink Ranger that's blonde. Oh my God. It's like, are you serious? And it was either that or, well, I don't care if she's blonde or not. I mean, as long as the girl can act, I don't care. It's like, what? Like, oh my God. Some of y'all are ridiculous.
Last time we checked, none of you guys are actors or actresses yet.
None of you. None of you. And it's like,
none of you have anything. Not that we're trying to like come after you guys, but we're just pointing out the facts.
Well, no, like here's the tea. Here's the thing. Even if you can have an opinion, like, I mean, and you can have an opinion on anything you want. First of all, I'm not a dancer. I'm not a dancer to save my life. I cannot dance to save my life. If twerking was a thing, maybe. But other than that, if you were to say, okay, here's an 8 count, I probably can't do it. However, I can still say, oh, okay, well, I don't think this person is all that great because just by what I see.
Because you have eyes.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. However, on the same token, on the same token, it's like, I'm not also going to sit here and try to like put this person down or, sound like a complete tool over the internet and just be like, well, this person can't do this person can't do that. And it's like, it's a way to like, to give your opinion without actually coming off sounding like a jerk. Like, there's a way to express any opinion. And I mean, people just really need to learn that.
Yeah, I think that the fact that they are saying this stuff in something that the actors tagged in, or anytime on social media where you have an opinion, a negative opinion on someone, and you tag them in it, is not the way to go, because like that's just a douchebag thing to do. Who actually wants to see that,
Exactly. And that was the problem. It was just like, now it's one thing to have an opinion, but it's another thing to have that same opinion and the person is tagged and they see this foolishness, and it's just like, who are you? First of all, and these are the same people. And this is what kind of high key grinds my gears and what really gets under my skin. These are the same people that will do those kind of things, who will be in the lines at conventions trying to get an autograph. And then as soon as that person be like, no, then all of a sudden, oh, they're terrible. They're this. Oh, I don't like this person. Blah, 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 blah. But you were the same person who was bashing them online and tagging them in the foolishness. Like, you can't be too mad at these people when they don't want to start coming to cons and they don't want to be around us. You can't be mad at that. You cannot be mad.
Nope.
So it's just like, you have to learn, like, people need to learn decorum and tact on the internet. Like, it's like all those tools, all those ways of communicating, all those ways of communication are out of the door when it comes to expressing an opinion. You can have an opinion. No one is stopping you from having an opinion. But you also have to know that there's consequences to your opinion as well. If you don't know how to properly convey your opinion without hurting someone's feelings, when there's repercussions for it or when there's consequences for it, you cannot be mad at it.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, just govern yourselves accordingly. It's what it really is.
Sad. Not even just that, but like, don't you remember that phrase we grew up with? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
That and even then, say for example, like, you do have a problem with her hair. You could easily say, oh, well, it looks nice. It looks great. So I mean, there's no way of saying that it did not look good. I mean, it looked really good.
It looked really good. But then
it looked really good.
But then the other thing is too, like I don't know. I guess it's like, what if she actually wanted to go blonde? What if it was a personal choice that she was totally okay with it? So now you're bashing someone for making a personal choice of wanting to go blonde.
Well, I mean, not that, and also too, even if you don't like the fact that she went blonde, there's still a way of saying, hey, oh, her hair looks great, but do we really need another blonde? Or, well, okay, great, we got another blonde. Okay, whatever. And I've seen people make like sarcastic comments, but turn them into jokes. That's fine as long as you're witty and you can make people laugh. Now, it's terrible when you make a terrible joke and I mean, it just comes off sounding more like a douche, then that's even worse. But I mean, it's just like, there's ways of expressing an opinion without hurting people's feelings. And that's what people really need to learn, because it's like, you can't, like I said, you can't express those rude opinions and sound so nasty, and then you want people to come around you like that. It doesn't gel that way. You have to realize these actors are human beings, especially when they're tagged. They can see everything you write. So if you're tagging them in these comments and you're literally saying all this nasty stuff, don't be surprised when they're like, I don't want to talk to you, or I don't want to come to this convention, or I don't want to be, nowhere near you guys. Like, don't be surprised.
Thanks for ruining it for all of us, guys.
Right. I mean, you're literally ruining it for everybody. And I feel like that's how come so many actors, like a lot of actors, just don't want to even be associated with the show sometimes, because it's like, sometimes y'all get really OD. Like, y'all can really OD sometimes. And it's like, but I'm not even going to even touch the subject that just popped into my mind. But because we got a whole nother show.
I can only, and it could be, it could be like anything. Like I thought of a couple of things when you said that.
Yeah, like I thought of one main one, but I'm like, I'm not gonna say nothing about it. But moving right along to the next bit of news. Now, of course, we all heard of this person, right? We all heard of this wonderful person who was supposed to be doing the original movie. Not the original movie, but the new movie that was supposed to be coming out. Jonathan Entwistle. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly because that would suck if I'm not.
I've heard other people pronounce it that way, so maybe.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. So so this guy, he basically, he's known for two different shows. He's known for writing and creating and producing two different shows. One of them is called End of the Effing World. The other one is called I'm Not Okay with This. These shows are created by Jonathan and created and co-created. And he was originally supposed to be doing the new movie that was supposed to be coming out under Paramount. Well, that has changed because now he will not only be overseeing the stories of the movie, but he will now be overseeing the TV show also. Now, this could be the beginning of something amazing.
Yeah.
This could be the answer to our dreams.
Yes, it could. Yes.
It really could be the answer that we've been waiting for all these years. Like, because basically it's one person who, the way I'm looking at it is it's going to be one person overseeing the entire story. Kind of like how with Ryan Parrott overseeing the entire development of the comics. It's going to be one person who's going to be overseeing the entire development of the world building that is the live action. Should that happen, basically, you might as well. There's a couple of things that may come from this. There's going to be a lot more world building, and there can also be a lot more developments of whether it could be fed into the actual show that we have now, the live action show that we have now, or it could lead to the development of another live action TV show, which might also play in the same universe, but be a little more mature. Because this guy is known for writing more mature bodies of work. So
very dark, very dry and sarcastic sense of humor.
Now, I'm not saying and that's the scary thing, but not the scary thing, but that's the thing that people are scared of. People are scared that, oh my God, this show is going to turn into like dark and gritty, or it's going to turn too dark, whatever. First of all, I hate the term dark.
But what's wrong?
I hate the term dark.
I was going to ask that same question. What exactly is wrong with that? Like, I get what's wrong with that in some senses. Like, if it's not done well, I get it. But like, it's time. Evolution is a thing. Change is a thing.
Yeah.
Power Rangers has been the same thing for a long time.
And also, if you guys have seen I'm Not Okay with This or The End of the Effing World, you guys would know it's a really good series, both of them. And the Effing World had 2 seasons, but they're both really good series. They're both funny, dry, sarcastic. I feel like it was basically 2017 movie, but even funnier with its darkness.
I mean, even with that, who's to say that he's going to write those shows like those shows? Well, you know what I'm saying? Because we only know those 2 bodies of work.
There's that too.
That's all we know. So he might be, you might have him write almost kind of like tonally the same, but not really that going that deep. It still might be your like bright, funny, whatever, but not going as dark as those 2 shows, but still have the same tones. You see what I'm saying? Like the writing is still the same, but they're just not as mature.
For sure.
Because to be truthfully honest, the brand itself really is a light brand. It's not something that, it can go dark. Don't get me wrong. Because we have seen it go dark. The 2017 movie is a lot more mature. It is a lot more mature.
And we just read a dark ass saga 2 years ago, Shattered Grid.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, all of
And right
Shattered Grid
now.
was
And right
mature.
now.
Yeah.
And,
Like the whole comic series is mature.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the whole comic is mature. So it's like if we were to turn the live action TV show, like the comic into a live action TV show, we literally would have a mature show. Like it would not be something that would be on Nick. It wouldn't. Like, I mean, it would not be a show that would be on Nick.
Totally okay with that. Like,
right, and there's nothing wrong with it.
You know, like I just feel like this kind of like what we all spoke about, and even some of the actors that we have actors and actors spoken with. This show can be so much bigger, but it's all because of those little fans that keep holding on to the fact that we love Mighty Morphin. We want to keep recreating Mighty Morphin. Mighty Morphin sells, like, but Mighty Morphin was 1995. We're not in 1995 anymore.
And not only that, but also too, like here's a quick trajectory. The reason why Power Rangers was able to do what it did, and I've said this before, but it definitely bears repeating because of this conversation. Power Rangers started out in a time where there was nothing like it.
Right.
So the reason why Power Rangers did so well was because it was the only thing in its realm that existed. There was no live action TV show with teenagers wearing spandex and fighting rubber monsters and then jumping in big gigantic robots and defeating them and saving the world. There was no show like that at that time. Not a live action. I mean, they had anime at that time, like Gotcha Man and stuff like that. But those were all anime that came into the US. But as far as live action, no show was doing that at that time. So Power Rangers had its own road. Then, as the show kept going, it matured. It got a little more mature, a little more, more little things started happening. We got a little more mature storylines here and there. And then, as it kept going, it kept getting a little more mature, You started having people die. It just started getting a little more mature. And then as soon as Saban sold it, suddenly, like, Disney took it over, which still light, but they still were telling mature stories. So it wasn't like we regressed at all. You know what I'm saying? It was still kind of like, I mean, they did have their little silly moments. They did, because it's Disney. But they still were kind of trying to tell stories that were at least in its time. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like feeling like it was going back to the 90s. But they were still trying to tell things that was like current. It wasn't until Samurai came along that all of a sudden the show completely regressed and turned into this facade of the 90s. And it's like, oh my God, like we're totally saying puns now that sound like they're coming straight from Power Rangers, the movie, 1995. Like, I mean, it's like, I understand that you guys are trying so hard and you were trying so hard to live off the hype of Mighty Morphin. It's totally understandable. But like we were saying, and like we've been saying, the show has to mature. You cannot say, I want the show to change, but still have the show's content stay the same. That's not change. There's no way that anything can change and stay the same at the same time. Hasbro understands that. So, and most companies, if they're going to try to like level something up or try to like make some kind of change, they understand that, hey, something's going to have to change. And if we have to, quote unquote, break ties with people, which we still don't know if they are or not, we don't know. But if they have to break ties with people and, sever connections, sever relationships for a time being or whatever, they'll do that. But anything to take the story and to take the brand to the next level, we have to be able to understand that and we have to be able to trust them with that. But just jumping ship and being like, oh, I don't want to deal with this because I can't, no. Like, no, like, then that means you don't want to see the brand succeed. Or at least try to see the brand succeed. Because I've been saying this for years. Power Rangers has the ability to be on like a Marvel or a DC level. It has the ability.
Yes.
And it
That's-
always had the ability.
Yeah. That's 30 years of content.
30
Like that's
years.
yeah.
Like this show could have turned into a cartoon several times. It could have been a much better game than what we have. I mean, not saying that Battle for the Grid isn't good, but I mean, we could have had multiple games.
Yeah, I want an open world game like Spider-Man, damn it.
Right.
Ugh.
Right. We could have had, I mean, there's so much that this game, that this world could have built, that this show could have built and could have turned the whole franchise into. Like this franchise could have been way bigger than what it is. But because it's so niche, and because Saban, and I'm mainly saying Saban because Saban had it longest, because Saban kept it such a niche brand and never tried to branch out with it. It's like, that's why everything just feels so compact and feels like there's no growth, that is completely stagnant. Now, I'm not saying that it never grew, because to be truthfully honest, Neo Saban, that was the most content we got in years. To be truthfully honest, like we got a whole lot under Neo Saban. So I'm not going to completely, jump and, attack them for that. Not going to completely do that. However, on the same time, we have to be able to say, it's totally fine for them to be like, okay, if they want to, take the brand to a different level, we have to be able to allow them to do that. And, maybe they might end up taking it to a place where we can actually finally be proud. Like, I know, Lena, you were saying, like, I want to be proud to be able to tell people, hey, I like Power Rangers.
Yes. I'm always like cringing.
Right.
If I want to let somebody know that.
No, it's
right.
True. It's very true. And I find that like it almost make or break the conversation. And no, I'm dead ass serious. When I say the conversation,
yeah, I get you.
No, it's true. Yeah.
I don't know if this person's gonna be my friend or not, like long term, right? So when you say it, you kind of go, do I want to say? Should they know who I really am? It sounds really bad, but it's true. Like, because like the biggest part of my life right now is Power Rangers. So I always cringe a little when I'm thinking about bringing it up. And then when I kind of do, it's like, so I'm part of this podcast with my two friends. Oh, what is it about? Power Rangers?
Power Rangers?
Around? And then that's when you're like, now you're bracing yourself for the reaction, right? Because like you don't know. And like,
yeah,
for the most part, a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, I've gone positive. I've always gone, oh yeah, I'm such a great fan of the Power Rangers. I'm like, oh, that's great. So what do you think of like Shattered Grand? They're like, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, sorry, forget I said anything. Let's talk about Mighty Morphin then. What do you like about Mighty Morphin? And it's just so cringy. You don't know. It really does make or break the conversation.
It does. It really does. Like, I don't know how many times I've brought up like, oh, I have this podcast that I'm on with my friends, and they're like, oh, what's the podcast on? And I'm like, Power Rangers, and all of a sudden the conversation just goes like mad left, and they're just like, and it's like, I haven't, or either they'll go be like, well, I haven't watched that show since I was a kid, and that makes you feel even worse because it's like, well, damn, here I am being a whole 31, almost turning 32-year-old, and I'm like, I'm still watching this show and I talk about it like every week.
We talk about it on a daily, like.
Well,
like,
yeah,
no,
really on
no,
a daily.
like you, like we actually DM each other every freaking day about Power Rangers.
About Power Rangers.
Like,
and I'm like,
we talk
in my late 20s, early 30s.
every day. Every day. And it's true though. Like and that's literally what I get next. Like, oh yeah, I used to watch the show when I was a kid. It used to be my favorite show. And you're like, yeah, it still kind of is. Not the new season, but the idea of Power Rangers still our favorite. It's so cringy. You never know.
It's so cringy.
You really
it
never
really
know.
is. And that's why I get so hyped when people actually like, when I'm actually like introducing like my podcast to people. Like, for example, like I just real quick, like I was telling this like a friend that I just made off of Instagram or whatever, because he liked my page. And like we were DMing each other, and he was just like, oh, I see you have a podcast. What is it? And I was like, oh, it's on Power Rangers. And he's like, oh my gosh, I still watch Power Rangers. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for Dino Fury. And I'm like, oh my God, you like Power Rangers too?
That's so cool.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to listen to my podcast. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to. So I mean, I love those moments, but for the most part, like I always get people just like, oh, I haven't watched that since I was like 10. I'm like,
Get out.
Okay. All right. So yeah, like we want to get the brand to the point where it's like, it's okay to talk about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's on a level of like X-Men or like something like that.
Iron Man or Spider-Man or like
right.
Like what's the other one?
Batman.
Yeah.
And it has the potential.
It really does.
It really has the potential. So, I mean, I'm glad that Jonathan is working on it. I think he's going to do a wonderful job. And, I'm praying that everything works out. And when he does, jump in and he does take the reins, everything is going to work. And we're going to be like, praise God. So, I'm hoping that everything goes well. Now, on to the big part of the show. We are going to cover not one, but 2 Halloween episodes. Well, one of them is a Halloween episode, the other one isn't. But anyway, it's a fan favorite. Now, the first one is Life's a Masquerade. Now, tell me, y'all, what was something that y'all liked about this episode and what was something that you didn't like?
Life is oh God, I'm so sorry that I didn't watch it again, like just to look through it. Like it's burned in my brain, but at the same time I haven't seen it in a while. Was this the second or the first or the second Halloween episode that season?
Well, this was the first one, and also you could just easily just say however you feel about it.
Well, no, because I'm trying to remember, because I know there was one episode. There were 2 episodes that season where they dressed up, but one of them wasn't a Halloween episode. They went on a game show.
Yes. So just as a reminder, Life's a Masquerade is the one where it was the actual Halloween special, and they went to and Billy, fought Frankenstein, and Trick or Treat is the game show episode.
Okay, thank you. All right, this one I think about Frankenstein. And I think about the Mega Dragon Zord drilling a hole in Frankenstein, and like my 3-year-old ass watching that, and just I wasn't scared or anything, but I would just like watch the Megazord drill a hole in Frankenstein. And I remember I did think that Frankenstein was creepy though. I think especially when Frankenstein came to the Halloween party and started throwing people around, that freaked me out.
That was funny. Just watching him pick that girl up and sling her around like a rag doll. That was great.
And then oh man, what else? Then Tommy ended up being Frankenstein later on, and I think he tricked everybody to make them think that he was the monster. Did he do that?
No.
Why would he do that?
He just came in dressed like Frankenstein because it was just like, oh, well, the monster we just fought gave me an idea from a costume.
Oh, how you get a costume like that fast?
Right. No,
that fast.
Frankenstein, but like he couldn't like piece together certain things from what I understood. What I don't get is where the fudge was Tommy the whole time when they're fighting Frankenstein, and he's like running to like the gym with his little gym bag, and he's offline. What was he doing that he was offline?
You know what? That was the part of the episode that I literally wanted to bring up, because I'm like,
what?
That makes no sense.
Like, watched it before we started our show because I don't remember any of them, right? And as I'm watching, I'm going, so let me get this straight. Alpha and Sora was able to locate everybody except for Tommy. And Tommy was nowhere to be found until he got to the door of the gym where he had a bag that wasn't even big enough for a costume. And he's about to go in, and obviously he gets attacked. And I'm thinking to myself, how was he offline this whole time? What was he doing?
I'm still trying to figure out how in the devil did that first of all, how is there a way to shut off the communicators or to shut or to turn your communicator off? Because I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
I think the only time you can't get a hold of them is if they don't have it on them. You know how Tommy never seems to have his communicator on him, and it always beeps on the side. That's the only thing I could think of because it never. But
or if it's broken.
Or when it was broken, yeah. But he had it on him, so how is he offline? I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I mean, like Billy made them from scratch. It's very possible that it malfunctioned, but we just never knew about it. I'm sure they would have told us though if that happened.
But that's the thing. They would have made that a plot point though. If it malfunctioned, they would have definitely made that a plot point. Because that's too big of something to be like, oh, we're just gonna leave it to a malfunction for just random thing just to happen. No, like they really tried to push that because like the whole thing was this whole episode was just basically trying to push Tommy away as much as possible just to make sure that he comes in and save the day. Because when it first comes on, first of all, I literally counted how many times Kimberly kept asking, "Where's Tommy? Where's Tommy? What about Tommy?" She said that shit about a good 4 times. At the very beginning of the episode, she's already asking, like, where's Tommy? Where's Tommy? Where's Tommy? Where's Tommy?
What I thought was even funnier is the fact that she's always asking, and I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't you know since you are actually low-key dating him?
They weren't dating yet.
Right.
They were like talking probably at that point.
Well, whatever. She's very interested to know where he is, so she should know more than anyone else where he is. Bottom line.
Dating and talking is the same thing.
Right? Like,
but they didn't go on their date yet until the other episode where they kissed.
It doesn't matter. The point of the matter is that she's obviously very interested in where he is. So should she know? Should she know? Should she be like, Tommy, where are you going? Oh, okay, Tommy. Why don't you call me when call Ernie's when you get there so I know? Like, I don't know, something. Like, you figure she would know. She seems like the kind of girl that would keep track of him.
Well, apparently she can't because she keeps having to ask over and over, where's Tommy? What about Tommy? It's like, girl, like, what are you doing? And then what makes me so irritated about the whole situation is that, like, every time that she'd ask, there's always, I felt like she would ask only out of plot convenience because it was like, oh, well, he's not here because of X, Y, and Z. Jason was like, oh, he's still trying to get his costume together.
Right.
And it's just like, what? Are you serious? Like, I'm so confused. They have to get everything together. And mind you, when the main thing that really grinds my gears about this episode is that not just the whole thing with Tommy in his communicator situation. That wasn't the only thing. The other thing that was really bothering me was the fact that Billy was following this monster to this cave, right? Rita and her posse, her crew, they underneath this cave as well. And they, getting all the little putty for the super putty and stuff so that they can create their little super putties and stuff, right? Now, while they're doing this and they're manufacturing all this clay, they are in a cave on the outside of the city. How in the heck all of a sudden they go from outside the city to all of a sudden in the center of the city, which creates an earthquake that causes people to run, and which also has the earthquake affect the little party at the juice center, at the juice bar? That makes no sense. How did it go from being in a cave outside the city to being in the city? That has to be the longest cave ever, which is underground. And also, it would have to also make sense that Billy, there would be no way that Billy would be deep into that cave. It would take him forever. It would take him hours. That would mean that Billy would have been going from that party for at least a couple hours. Nobody asked the question, hey, where did Billy go? Nobody asked that question.
It's not where's Tommy? It's not where's Billy.
Right. It's like nobody asked. Nobody said, well, where's Billy? Nobody. I'm like, there's no way in the world that this boy could have just ran into this cave, ran for like a couple feet, and was like, oh, Frankenstein. But it's like Rita came from underneath the city. Like the ground broke and she came, and Toy Rita came rising out the ground in the middle of the city. There's no way in the world that could have happened. It's like, this makes no sense. There's nothing about this episode that makes sense. But, whatever. So I guess for me, one thing that I did love about this episode is the fact that Alpha was getting all the honeys, and Zach was so jealous.
Rewind for 2 seconds. What is up with Angela and her attitude towards Zach? She was like,
okay,
yeah, that wasn't cute.
That
I ain't like
was
that.
not cute. Like, she really was just giving him such attitude for no reason.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Lena. Let's talk. Let's sit down and let's have tea with our pinkies up on this one, because I've always had an issue with Angela. I've always had a bone to pick with her, and of course, we only see what the show shows us. You know what I'm saying? We only see what the show shows us. So I mean, that's the only way that we're informed. So we can't really go by, maybe Zach is just, always popping up and always harassing her. You know what I'm saying? Or he's just kind of being creepy towards her or whatever, kind of like a Jake or something like that. It's not like that on that level. I kind of feel like if it was played that way, I can see Angela having that energy. You know what I'm saying? I can see her having that energy of like, like, you creepy. Don't get away from me. Like, don't talk to me. But he's not doing that. I mean, Zach is so charismatic. He's cool. He's like doing his little 90s hip hop keto dancing. And I mean, he's charming. And it's like, all dude want to do is ask you out on a date. That's it. I mean, he's not being creepy about it. He's not like peeking around the corner, hiding in bushes and stuff. I mean, all he wants to do is ask you out on a date. And every time, like, you don't just dub him. I mean, you like make it your business to be a complete jerk. And it's like, I'm not okay with that. No. I'm not okay with this.
and we never got like a resolution. I feel like there was an episode where she actually did go on a date with him, but his ranger duties got in the way of that, and he got a head full of popcorn for leaving.
Right, because he ditched her and left her.
Yeah, but I feel like wasn't there something after that?
Oyster stew.
Right. Okay. But like, I don't think we ever saw her again after that. Like, we never had a resolution to that.
And I'm glad. That's one character that when they disappeared, I was glad they left. Like, thank you. Come again. Don't.
I was gonna say, do you think Angela was friends with snooty ass Veronica?
Yes. Her and Veronica would probably be like the best friends in the world. Because they're both snooty. I do not like Veronica at all. I do not like her. I do not like Veronica. I like her because she was such a jerk. And because of the fact that like she was hovering over Tanya's scraps, like trying to like date Sean out of like malice, out of like being petty, like, I got your man. You know what I'm saying? And Tanya's just like, girl, bye, you can have him. I don't care. Girl, bye.
I love it. Yes.
Like, girl, bye. Like, I don't want him. But I mean, honestly, like, that's the only reason why I like Veronica. Other than that, like, Veronica's terrible. Like, she's terrible.
Yeah. I think I
could totally see them being friends.
I have a weird this weird thing where I like characters like that. Like I love to hate them. Like I loved Cordelia on Buffy and Tony.
Cordelia's funny.
And Tony's like one of my favorite people on on Girlfriends. And I like Molly on Insecure.
You just like terrible people. And that's okay. Yeah. That is okay. It is okay to like terrible people. However, I just like when it comes to old girl, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of her. And it's just like the way that Angela was just the way she always did that was just mean. It was just like, girl, if you don't want the boy, just say I don't want you. You know what I'm saying? Like she would never ever say I don't want you. That's the thing. And that's the thing that really bothered me about that whole relationship is that she would never ever say I don't want you. If you don't want the dude, just say I don't want you. Mm-hmm. Leave me alone. And I'm pretty sure Zach would be like, all right. Yeah, but the fact that she just keeps throwing a bone, yeah. Like she just keeps throwing a bone and it's like, let me just go ahead and kind of smooth it under your nose, just so you can get a whiff, just so you can think I'm interested. And then they just pull it away from you. Like, nope.
Nope. Such a tease. I don't like that. I don't like people like that. He just leads people on and then you hurt them. It's not right.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. And I was never a fan of hers. It's just like, I was so glad when that character was over. But the one thing I love about this episode, the one thing I love about the episode was Alpha, winning the grand prize and everything, because everybody was just like, oh my God, Alpha looks so cool.
Ladies and the grand prize, I was happy for Alpha. So
finally Alpha gets some love, Like I love that. And plus, one of the things I do have to say this, and I hope nobody, gets upset with me. Because I'm gonna turn very PC. But I'm sorry, I was not here for Trini's costume. Why they had that girl looking like Pocahontas? I was not okay with that.
I mean, this is before. Okay this is before we knew about cultural.
Even then.
Well, I'm sure. Like there obviously were people that knew about it, but like it wasn't.
Yeah,
thing to not do things like that.
He did act like Pocahontas.
Yeah, and even then, like I understand what you're saying, Will. I totally get it. I mean, because this show is very dated. It's very dated. Mm-hmm. However, also too, like cultural appropriation is a real thing, and it's always been a thing. And it's just like, did we not think that appropriating Native American culture was not a good thing? Like, did we not believe that at some point? Because it's like, we know that about Blacks. We know that about us.
Isn't this the same show that had her say the line, "I want Chinese food"?
When she say that?
What is it? The Crystal of Nightmares episode.
Oh my God! I have to watch this now.
Oh my God! Oh God!
Oh my God, I must find this now because that is terrible.
I know. What?
Who said this?
Trini.
That's okay.
They were all talking about being hungry and what they wanted to eat, and then Trini said, "I want Chinese food."
Yeah, that's okay.
That is absolutely okay, but to have the Asian girl say that,
I mean,
and she's not Chinese.
She's Vietnamese, but to be fair, she's from Vietnam. And in Vietnam, the top two people that live there and that speak, and actually their top two language is Vietnamese and Cantonese. And there is just as
I
there
didn't
is
know
a
that.
whole- yeah. That my mom is from Vietnam, but she's completely 100% Chinese. She speaks Cantonese, and she's from the same city as Tweet was, and yeah, it was, and yeah. So like in Vietnam, our international are the top two language is Vietnamese and Cantonese. And a lot of the times, Vietnamese people that like, the citizens, they would actually know
Mhm.
both languages. And if they didn't know both, they could actually understand one of them and not speak the other, and vice versa. It's a very common thing to know both. So it's not inappropriate, to be fair with you.
White men wrote that, so
Yeah, but till this day, we still have Chinese food.
yes, but it's the
I can see both arguments.
I don't like it. I don't like it because I know a bunch of white men wrote that line.
Oh, 100%.
They're-
And I don't, I'm not against you saying that, right? But I guess like at the same time, like from my understanding, it's like, well, till this day, we still have Chinese food. We still have Jamaican food. We still have like, you know what I mean? Different style food. Like it's not like now that we're in 2020 that suddenly Chinese food disappeared. We don't call it Chinese food anymore. It's still Chinese food. Like, to be fair, I would say it too. I'd be like, oh, I feel like Chinese, or I feel like sushi, or I feel like, oh, let's get Korean food. Let's get, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not a I get where you're coming from, but I don't think it's that serious.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Lena, because this is I kind of I see both arguments. I do. I can see both arguments easily. However, this is also the same show that during the food fight episode they wanted to give poor Zach chicken and watermelon. They tried to do it, and Zach and Walter was like, "Heck no, we're not doing that." So I mean, I can see what you're saying. I totally get it, but at the same time, they be really trying to push those stereotypes though.
I mean,
Like
I
they
get that.
really do be pushing
I
the
do get
stereotypes.
that, right? But I guess like when they were doing it with Trini, it didn't really, like, with Walter, that part I totally understand. But with Trini's part, I'm just like, yeah, but asking for Chinese food is not a bad thing. I ask for Chinese food all the
I
time.
mean, because you understand the cultural significance of it.
Right.
So that's understandable. That's why I said, like, I understand
Yeah.
both arguments of it. But at the same time, like Will said, these are also white people who wrote
No,
this.
and I
So I
agree.
highly doubt that they understand that they were like, we understand the culture behind
Mhm.
this.
100%.
They don't.
They don't.
They
But
don't.
I guess like at the same time too, I'm like, well, this is very dated, kind of like what we said, and so we can't really change that now. But had that happened today in today's episode, heck yeah, I'd be like, hey, that's a little inappropriate. No, I don't know, but I get it. I completely understand. There are a lot inappropriate things that was done and said on that show that was not right.
Oh yeah, like it's not like that's what I'm saying. Like we like looking at it from like the lens of like 1995, like not 1995, but 1993, and like where things were and things of that nature. I can totally understand how this would go under the radar.
Yes.
However, under the same token, it's like cultural appropriation wasn't okay. Like it's
It was
sidebar.
never
I'm gonna step
okay.
on just my pedestal for like it was never okay. I'm
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
mean.
step
It
on
was
my
okay
little
never.
pedestal and I'm gonna put on my kufi for like 2 seconds. I'm putting on my kufi for like 2 seconds. Like cultural appropriation, it's never been okay. But the thing is, I feel like it's never been okay like with us. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to African Americans here in this country, it's been more so vocal with us.
Yeah.
And it's been less vocal with Native Americans. Like Native Americans have always kind of been like, don't use our stuff, don't touch our stuff, don't don't be doing that. But nobody ever listened to them. Nobody ever listened the way they did us.
And it's so sad because like they're like you can't even. I think one reason is you can't find them, unfortunately.
No, you
Right.
They're all hidden.
they're in their communities because the thing is, and this is the reason why I actually hate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not a place.
Same.
it was a time where, like, I'm sorry, but it was taken over by from the natives. So you're thankful that you took over somebody else's place and call it home?
Right.
Like, what?
Look at the privilege of that damn holiday. You won, and now you just made it into something
Exactly.
completely different.
Dead ass. And
Like you killed a whole bunch of people, like just completely massacred, raped, did all these things to these people, and you created a holiday and tried to warp the whole thing to make it seem like, oh yeah, we just basically went to their houses and said, hey, let's do a feast, and everybody just ate together, and we're just like, oh, we're so happy, and we just decided that, you know what, we love you guys so much, we're just gonna get up and walk away from our land and let you guys have it. That's not what happened.
No, that's exactly not what happened. And I've never liked it. And I hate it when people used to be like, what are you thankful for? I'm like, well, nothing. I'm thankful every day for my life and all the things I have in it, but I'm not thankful on Thanksgiving Day.
No, never. Like, it's terrible. And that's why I'm just like, in that costume, it was just like, no. Don't do that. Y'all could have given her. They could have given that outfit that they gave her on the second episode, the other one, Trick or Treat. She had on kind of like that little genie outfit. That was so much better. She looked
so hot in that outfit. Oh my god,
she looked so cute, and I'm like, that is so much better.
But the thing is, it reminded me of Jasmine.
This is true.
I can understand.
I'm not even kidding. I was about to bring that up when we got to that episode. But she also looked like another, like, in a way,
an appropriation.
Yeah, because we all know
terrible.
We all know, when we see that clothing, we know what culture and what represent. And when I seen that, I was like, oh, like, and up like Kimberly, where Kimberly's just a princess. Like, anyone can be a princess. I'm down with that. Why couldn't she just been a princess too?
Right.
Or something else.
But like, that's very genetic. Why does she have to be a genie looking girl that looked like Jasmine? They even did her hair to look like Jasmine. And then have her look like an Indian Pocahontas girl, like in the first one. Like, it just, I don't know, man. Like, when I saw that, I did pick up on that, and I was gonna bring that up too. She looked really good though. She looked so cute.
She did.
But
she looked amazing in the second costume. But it was just that first one. I was like, no, y'all didn't. You didn't.
It was like a more blatant example of it. At least for us Americans.
It was just like, it was way more like, I felt like I totally agree. The genie outfit could also be seen as offensive too. It also could be seen as appropriation. But at the same time, that Native American one though, that Pocahontas, that hit different. That hit different. I was like, ugh. When I rewatched that episode today, I was like, oh, I forgot she wore that.
I said the exact same thing. I was like, why does she look like an ancient Pocahontas? Like, she did her hair. They even did her hair to look like Pocahontas. Like, why does she look like Pocahontas? And I remember thinking, like, we're definitely going to talk about this. I can see us bringing this up. This is not okay.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't good. This isn't good.
I did remember a really cool line from that episode, which was Billy's morph. What is it? Time for molecular transmutation instead of its morphin time. That was cool.
Oh, that was the other thing that you liked. There was a couple of lines though that I felt from Billy that was like really cute. That from that episode, especially it was that one, and it was also the line where he's like, where he's just like, how do you say it? He was like, oh my gosh, how did he say that line? He was just like, my deductive reasoning tells me that you're not Tommy. And it's just like, because he was supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's cute. That was cute. But just the overall like thing of that episode was just like, the costume was just like, nah, bro. Like, the costumes were terrible. But I will say this though, one costume that should have won, even though Alpha won, I don't care what nobody say. I know Alpha was supposed to win, of course, but the one who should have won, Zach. Because baby, King Tut with all the muscles.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh, child. I was like, I didn't even realize. Zach had a body like that. Good grief.
And
Sir.
yeah, and he was actually a black person being an Egyptian. That was cool.
Right. I was like, ooh, hey there. How you doing? So I will give them that. Like everybody else's costumes were great. Poor Trini. Okay, well, the second episode is Trick or Treat. Now, the second episode is just basic. It's not even an episode that has anything to do with Halloween at all, but it has
surprisingly
a very iconic character. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, it has nothing to do with Halloween, but it has an iconic character, Pumpkin Rapper. Now, the whole basis of this episode is it's a game show. Basically, like Kim was brought on a show that was called Trick or Treat, where she has to go up against Skull. And basically, the grand prize is you win a brand new car. And so she invited Tommy. That was another reason that Tommy couldn't be there, because he was like, "Oh, I had my karate match, so I can't come." They had, first of all, they're just like they get to the little place or whatever, and they're having their little they're watching the game show or whatever. They're live in studio audience, honey. And everybody's just sitting there, cheering for Kimberly. Nobody said nothing for Skull. Damn. But anyway,
he's a bully.
They begin the games.
Good point.
Huh?
I mean, he's a bully. Nobody wants to support a bully.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's true. But dag, like, did they bully the whole city? I mean,
okay, that's fair.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's a small town. They probably all knew him. It's a small town.
This is true.
That, like, they all seem to know each other one way or another.
This is true.
Oh, yeah.
But dang. Like, I mean, dang. Like, nobody say nothing. I was like, poor kid.
Between Skull and Kim, who's the cuter one?
I mean, obviously Kim.
So, you got your answer, but yeah.
But so she basically wiping the floor with Skull. I mean, just whippity white, wiping the floor. And Skull is like, "Dag, like, I'm losing." And Bulk is like, "We gonna cheat." Now, first of all, when he said, before they even started the game, and he was like, "All right, Skull, remember, we gonna cheat." Nobody heard this, even though he said it around everybody. He said it around every single person that was in earshot of this, and nobody was like, "Let me go tell the producer that they talking about they gonna cheat." But anyway, so Skull is basically losing, and at the same time, Tommy is fighting, these pumpkins in the middle of the park.
First off,
he's fighting putties. I'm sorry, not pumpkins, but the pumpkins are there, but he's fighting putties in the park. Sorry.
So, let me get this straight. This man is going through the park, notices pumpkins, and you know what I noticed something? He's going to a tournament, is he not?
Yes.
Tell me why this man does not have a gym bag, does not have any extra clothes, does not have any towels, does not have a water bottle, and he's going to a tournament.
A whole tournament.
Maybe he left them there.
No, my man did not show up or left with a gym bag, okay? And on top of that, he's going through the damn forest to get to Ernie's. Out of all places, he's going to damn Ernie's for this tournament. You're telling me you're going through a random park for this? I've never seen
shortcut.
Well, that did not seem like a shortcut. He was going through the whole like Red Riding Hood, let me go through the forest situation.
You didn't do unnecessary trips when you were a kid?
Not through the forest.
No. I've never done that.
I'm talking to look at the random pumpkins that are like growing and being like, this looks suspicious.
I mean, that is kind of suspicious. It's not Halloween time, and you just see
Well, it's even,
pumpkins all around the damn park. That's
but the thing
weird.
is, it wasn't even like out in the open. It was kind of hidden. He like walked into it. It was really hidden. It wasn't like out there.
Mm.
And on top of that, if there was pumpkin growing in the park randomly like that, wouldn't other people see it too?
I mean, look,
Yes.
how many other times have we had a random crap in the park? Like the damn well, I guess these were already in the park, but I'm thinking about like the couple of times that statues have like started growing things or oozing things, but those were already there though.
Yeah, but that's why they have like landscapers, people who take care of the parks, especially the ones that are funded by the city. Or
This is also the city that's targeted by a witch every week.
yeah, but they also look like it's clean, so that means somebody's taking care of it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I'm just saying, the point of the matter is, if pumpkin's growing, wouldn't you not think there's other people that sees it too? Maybe some random kid that runs into it, maybe some random kid dropping some ball into it. Like, all I'm trying to say is like, this park was empty when he was walking through it. I'm getting the whole little Red Riding Hood feel where he's walking and he's seeing some stuff that he should not be seeing. And I love how when he told Zora, Zora's like, yeah, it's okay. You gotta preserve your energy. We'll let you know if we need you. Don't worry about it, Tommy. You go do your tournament. You're Zora. You dead ass know that these random pumpkins growing in the park in the middle of summer. You're gonna be okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, it's funny that you say that because it's like he's like, we'll call you if they need help. You know, 9 times out of 10 they gonna need help.
Oh hell yeah!
You know this, bruh.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah. Because the thing is, Zordon already knew that the pumpkins were probably going to be pumpkin wrapper, and he knew how fiendish pumpkin wrapper was. And it's like you ain't gonna call in one of your best soldiers, like one of your strongest soldiers. You're gonna just have him on the sidelines while the other Rangers get their butts kicked. Like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, it was just like Zordon. Bruh, like sometimes I question your judgment. A lot of times I question your judgment.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, if you know about it beforehand, why would you let this monster come to be? Why would you not just store it at his roots?
I mean, I'm saying. I'm saying.
It's not like it's probably going to be like these innocent pumpkins, like they're only pumpkins.
Right? Like, really? And he knew about it too. He's like, yeah, we gotta keep an eye on it. Really, Zordon, though?
Like, they're literally pumpkins.
Like, are you telling me that if you see a tiny little mouse, you're gonna let it roam your apartment until it becomes a whole family?
Oh God.
Fuck no. That little mouse is finding a new home somewhere else. Not here. Maybe in the park with those pumpkins, but not here.
Oh, child. Listen, that in itself was just like, what is happening? But the part that got me though, of course, we all know this iconic scene. We all know the epicness of this battle because, of course, the Rangers are called. First of all, before that even happens, just when Kim is about to win this brand new car, Zordon calls and is like, all right, bring your asses. Nah, I'd have been like, hold up. 1 second. They've been tapping on their communicators like, come on, Kim, we got to go. If I was Kim, I'd been like, 1 second. So go ahead. Let me go ahead and ask this question real fast.
Right.
Ask the question. And I'll be like, I want, bye y'all, and dip out. Like
Kimberly's in the middle of something. They could have just had the other 4 go, and then she catches
exactly.
up.
She did not have to go.
Yeah, they did that later on with Tanya.
Exactly. It's like y'all called this girl is literally like one question away from winning. You are literally going to call her and be like, yeah, sorry, you gotta throw it all away. No, you go ahead without her.
You know what? This might have been why he did that with Tanya, actually. He
True.
probably was like upset afterwards. Oh, I'm. Are you okay, Kimberly? I could have won a car, but I had to go out into battle. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
No. Remember, because on that episode in Zio, the one that you're referring to, Tommy made the executive decision. So maybe he did that because of Kimberly. Maybe he did that because of her, because he made the executive decision to be like, you go ahead and you stay and you sane, girl. You go ahead and you do your thing. We'll go handle the monster or whatever. And like, but instead this time Jason was like, yeah, I know you know what I'm saying? I know you're doing your thing, but Zordon needs us. It's like,
And they were
selfish prick.
I mean, like, damn, wait, hold up. They're brand new at this point, so
No, nah. They're not that brand new. They ain't that brand new. This is after Doomsday.
So what? They've been Rangers for what, like a year?
Yes.
And they're still teenagers and trying to do the right thing for Zordon.
Man, bump
and
Zordon.
The world.
Bump the world. This girl could have won herself a brand new car.
My God.
I would have been. Listen, if that was me, I'd have been like, y'all go ahead. Let me answer this one question, and I'll be like right behind y'all in like 5 minutes. Like, let me just go ahead and answer this one question. And then I'll be right behind y'all. No, they had to be like, she had to, oh my God. Oh my God. I feel faint.
Oh, right, no. right. Oh my God. I forgot about that part.
How could you?
I was pissed. Because I'm like, that girl could have won that car. She could have won that.
Joy. Like when she did that, I'm like, really, Kim? You're gonna have to pretend like you're passing out? No.
Well, how else would she get out of it? We didn't have cell phones.
She didn't need to.
She didn't need to, period. She could have just been like, okay, go ahead. Ask the question. Let me answer it. And then she was even talking about
that really made me upset.
With Tommy after. She's like, I really could have won a new car. And he's like, yeah, you could have, but you didn't.
Shoot. Oh.
He was like, remember, by not winning, you were a winner, or something like that. I can't remember. What did he say? Like, by not, what was the phrase that he gave her, Brendan? He was like, he was like, well, you know, in the, like, don't think of it like you're losing, you were winning. And then she's like, well, in that case, we're both winners.
Yeah, because like, remember, he also, he couldn't compete in his little match because he got called because, you know, the Rangers needed him. Now in his situation, yes. Like, his situation, it made sense because it was like, man, like, you know, the others need my help. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure.
And, you know, so his situation made sense. Hers, on the other hand, nah.
And let's be honest,
it didn't make sense.
Kimberly was going to contribute a lot.
I mean, she did contribute a little bit. She did.
You know, she got rid of the pumpkins when Jason was suffering. I get that, you know. She helped them. But point being is that, you know what? It was their stupidity to hold the pumpkin so close to their face.
That was the thing. That was the thing.
That was your stupidity.
It was like, who told you to hold them pumpkins that close to your head with your dumb behind?
You know what? Now that I think about it, if Kimberly didn't go with them, then it would have just been the 4 that did that, and then I guess she would have had another situation where she saved everybody and probably killed Pumpkin Rapper on her own. Maybe.
I mean, honestly,
at least she would have released them.
She did, though. She did that anyway, and that was the whole point. Even if that was to happen, and she won the car, she would have had a car, and she could have saved them at the same time. Like,
Okay, that's good.
Either way, I'm just like, you, Zordon, you always messing stuff up. But you know, that fight scene is one of my most favorite fight scenes of all time, to be honest with you, in Mighty Morphin. Like, it's one of my most favorites because, first of all, the background music, Ron Wasserman will always be a genius when it comes to background music. He's always gonna be a genius. And secondly, like, this is YouTube footage. So like, and I always kind of felt like high key, YouTube footage was better than the actual Zoo Ranger footage. I like the YouTube footage a lot more. So I don't know. Like I just always love that fight scene. And then of course Pumpkin Rapper. Ooh, you Rangers make me mad. Making a rap
Yeah,
with a rap
no,
that bad.
no,
You know, like,
no,
well, we can be up with a
no.
rap that bad.
Mm-mm,
I
mm-mm.
loved it. I'm sorry. I know
I
other people didn't like it. I loved it.
no. Those rhymes were weak as hell.
But they were weak. They were what? They were what, Will?
Those were weak. The flow was all fucked up.
Listen. You leave Pumpkin Rapper alone because Pumpkin Rapper came in there dropping bars, and you ain't gonna do him like that. You ain't gonna do Pumpkin Rapper like that. Like he came up in there like killing it, like dropping heat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But nah, like I mean, it overall, like that episode, I don't know, like for me, that episode is just really, it was definitely my more favorite episode, despite it not being a Halloween episode. I actually liked it more than the actual Halloween episode. Like, what do you
I feel
guys
like
think?
that's the more iconic episode
Yeah,
because of the
yeah,
pumpkin wrapper.
I
exactly.
It was definitely I definitely like that one way more than I liked the first one. And what's fun is like I watched them both literally right before we got started. And when we started talking, I couldn't remember the first episode that we were talking about at all. I was
Oh,
like, I
damn.
literally just finished it. How can I not finish? How can I not remember? Wait,
I don't I don't know. For me, I actually the first episode is more burned in my brain for some reason. Like of course I remember very well the pumpkin wrapper, but I didn't even remember the other plot of it, like the game show part. But I the
Mm,
battle with the Frankenstein monster is what is just stuck in my head. And then just the Frankenstein in general is what I remember so well. And when when Alpha was at the youth center, what a perfect opportunity for him to finally be in public without having to, be afraid that he's going to scare somebody off because he's a robot.
right, because nobody knew.
Mm-mm. He just had an awesome
Never knew.
costume that was like a precursor to these amazing cosplays that we see now.
Okay. Okay. Shoot. So, guys, so overall thoughts. So like, so if you were to say which one you would, turn to, whichever one that you'd put on first, which one would you do?
pumpkin wrapper first.
The way that I do it, I usually do things in sequential order. So I probably would do the one that came first. Plus, I honestly, like I said, I really that's the one that like always stuck with me. So I would do that one first.
Yeah, you just like seeing people get drilled. So
Oh wow.
um
Wow.
I'm sorry you left yourself wide open for that one.
Oh God! And then oh God, I need to say that. Oh wow.
Right?
Oh, oh God, you're next.
Oh wow, thanks. You come in right after that with your next. Thanks. I would probably say the same one, Trick or Treat. I would do Trick or Treat first, only because I don't know, like I just really like Pumpkin Rapper. I really do. I just love Pumpkin Rapper so much because those raps, man, those bars, like they're amazing, and he's just like whipping them and electrocuting them and rapping all at the same time. Like, I mean, it's fire. Like he's spitting mad heat to the point where like he's electrocuting folks. Like, I mean, it's
Oh
bomb.
my
Like you can't,
God.
you know.
That was really cool. He was one of the original monsters that they made for the extended season 1 with the G2 footage.
Yeah.
He's one of the most iconic monsters as well.
Yep. So that's why I'm just like, I gotta show love the pumpkin rapper. Even though Frankenstein, Frankie J came out and he gave the Rangers a run for their money. He did. Frankie Muniz did his thing. But I'm sorry, like, I just love pumpkin rapper. I don't know. So I mean, that's how I feel. But anyway. But does anyone else have anything else to say before we end this episode?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, before we go, I would like to ask this question, because we in the spirit of the giveaway, I would like to ask this question. When we talked about the episode Life's a Masquerade, what character did Trini dress up as? Let us know. And yeah, just go ahead and give us the tea and give us the answer, and also tell us how we felt about it.
Right.
Tell us how we felt, because that's going to be something by itself as well. But anyway, so once again, the question is, what did Trini dress up as? And also, like, what was our response to her dressing up in that outfit? Let us know in the comment section. And also, I'll also post it on Instagram as well, so that, you can answer there too. And yeah. Now, once again, this episode will be on both YouTube and Spotify. So definitely, if you want to comment in anywhere, you can comment on Instagram, Spotify, or SoundCloud. We will check all the answers from all the places. Okay. All righty. This has been another episode of Tribunal of the Grid. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.